Well, thanks everyone for joining us for this webinar. I've got Evan from Deltek here. I'm Josh Graham. I'm the founder of EHAB. We are a weather risk management for construction platform that's been around since 2020. And our mission really is to try to help the construction industry adapt to the climate crisis. Evan, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure, thank you, Josh. Hello, everyone. My name is Evan Filis. I'm a solution engineer for Deltek, and today we will review how Acumen Risk integrates with the EHAB platform and how this integration really empowers your risk modeling process. Thank you, Josh.
Thanks, Evan. So what I'm going to do, folks, is share my screen, and I'm just going to run through how to set up the EHAB platform to get the best results with the Acumen integration. So if I just pull up my screen here, so we've gone ahead and created just a little demo project. It's in Cardiff in the UK because it's a bit rainy. So I decided to go for something that has a bit of weather risk in there. And what we've done is we've gone and uploaded a plan. So you can import your file from P6 or Asta or Microsoft Project, wherever you have your planning and scheduling data. And when you upload into the system, what you'll be confronted with is a screen that looks like this. So this is effectively your matching screen. So I can filter and I can go and type concrete, for example, and it'll bring up any activities that are labeled concrete. Or you can go through your whole work breakdown structure list like this. If you already have activity codes in your program, then we can use those to match as well. And so once you've matched, this process really is to assign risk category types. So, concrete, for example, to your activity. And as you can see on here, there are thresholds associated with those categories. So, you can't pour concrete, or in this particular case, you can't do excavation below -6, as an example. Once you've submitted that, then our model will run. And what we'll be looking at is all of the historic data, 60 years of historic data for this location in Cardiff. We'll also be factoring in the climate trends in that location. So maybe it's getting wetter or warmer, maybe it's getting less windy, for example. All of those things will be factored in, and we'll spit out some probabilities of the likelihood of impact in your program. So just as an example here, we've got about 45 weather days in this program in total. Now, the second thing to do is to go and check your thresholds. So we have a common set of thresholds that when you first load into the platform, everyone has access to. But of course, these are defaults. So if you want to make them more specific to your use case, you can go in here and you can select day or night. So that will just mean that you're just using day data or just using night data as opposed to 24-hour data. Of course, you can change the threshold. So rather than -2.5, maybe it's 0. And once you save, then you can rerun the simulation. Now, once you've done this is your your setup for your project. The key thing to then do if you want to pull this information into Acumen so that you can do an enhanced quantitative schedule risk analysis is to go to the QSRA, TRA and QSRA screen. And here, where it says select your risk software, you can then go and select Deltek Acumen Risk. Evan, in a second, is going to show you how simple it is for you to get the data from EHAB into Acumen. There's also a video. So if you click the tutorial button, there's a video that will show you step-by-step how to do it. And really, then there's two options, again, as Evan will explain, but you can either just get the risk register from EHAB, which will look like this. So this will give you your risk event ID, for example, and probabilities of the data. You'll notice that then we also link all of those activity IDs to all of your activities so that when you bring it into Acumen, it will be automatically matched. And then these are just events describing what it is. So concrete, site clearing, etc. Or if you already have risk events, then you should download your risk register from Acumen and actually upload it into EHAB, and will then append those risks to your spreadsheet. So I'm going to hand over to Evan now, and he can show you how you will then run the quantitative schedule risk analysis in Acumen.
Thank you, Josh. Just to summarize, basically, all in all, the process is very smooth. You just go to the EHAB platform. You import basically your scheduling data. You guys integrate with all the mainstream scheduling platform, which is great. It's very, very convenient. And you happen to integrate with one of the best scheduling analytical platforms out there, which is Acumen, of course. Acumen has been in the business for more than 12 years now. So it's a very reliable platform, battle tested, and we are very happy that we integrate with a younger generation of tools. And to be honest, what you guys are covering is fundamental because climate change is happening. Weather events are already impacting projects within construction, oil and gas, residential development. It's a big risk, if you like. So having that aspect of risk modeling covered by EHAB is great, and it really expedites the whole risk modeling process. So thank you very much for that. So I'm gonna start sharing my screen. All right. And this is Acumen, right? To the left, you can see the project that just imported into the EHAB platform. It's the same project. It's going to take less than a minute to import any type of scheduling data. And then to the right, you see the weather adjusted risk register or the export from the EHAB platform. The means of importing that is that Excel risk register, Excel-based risk register. You don't have to do anything. Basically, all you have to do is to export it. All right. These are the weather risk events that come from the EHAB platform. And again, there's a lot of analysis that takes place in the background, but you don't have to do any of that, right? It's there, it's ready for you. You can always look at the links. So what activities are mapped to the different weather risks and the details behind the weather risks. So the process is fully transparent. So I want to highlight that because a lot of users are complaining that with some of the other tools, they don't have that visibility. They get results, but they cannot really question or investigate what were the assumptions, right? And initial inputs. That's not the case. EHAB and Acumen provides that transparency, so you can see all the details if you want to. And once the risk register is exported from EHAB, all you have to do, you move into Acumen and you import the risk register data. It's a smooth integration. The data is here. You can see all the parameters in the details of the risk register, and you can also see the mappings. Okay, you can see the mappings activity by activity, but I can go to the project and click risk events, and you can see all the activities that have been mapped to the different weather risk events. Now, it's very important to highlight that you can continue your risk modeling process. So you're not limited to adding weather risk events. You can continue adding more events, opportunities, threats, you name them, right? So you can continue adding events, risk events on top of the weather risk events that you have received from the EHAB platform, okay? For the purpose of this demo, we're gonna remain with existing, we're gonna stay to the existing risk inputs using weather risk events. And I'm gonna just highlight that you have also the facility of assigning automatically uncertainty based on different factors. In that case, I'm using a metric, an Acumen metric. So this is the number of different resources assigned per activity. Okay, so you can automatically calculate the advice and you will get an indication of whether the uncertainty should move to the very aggressive or to realistic or whatever the range that you have set up might be. All right. So in this model, we are using uncertainty and weather risk. Okay, just to keep things simple. Josh, anything you want to add at this point?
No, all makes sense to me, Evan.
Excellent, excellent. So all you have to do is select which scenario you want to run. So we're going to look at two scenarios. One scenario that we're using just risk uncertainty. uncertainty, and then uncertainty and risk events, okay, without any mitigation or any other overhead costs. So we're going to look at these two scenarios, and we want to show you the difference between uncertainty only and adding weather risk events on top of uncertainty. All right, so let's go into the risk exposure. All right, and this is the model which combines weather risks and uncertainty. Now, if we were to show you the first scenario with just uncertainty, we can go straight into the risk exposure chart. Okay, and as you can see at the bottom of the right part of the screen, you can see the scenario with uncertainty only, and the second scenario where we're using the EHAB weather events plus uncertainty. So you can see the gap at the P80 level. We're just using P80 confidence level as a reference point. Okay, so it's 98 days. All right, and if you want to see the impact of weather risks at a very granular level on top of uncertainty, you can switch to the risk driver chart or tornado chart, as many of you know this chart, and you can see what's the top potentially most impactful risk, which is a weather risk number 10. Okay, it has to do with the concrete pouring. And then right below that is uncertainty. Okay, so now you can easily prioritize your mitigation steps. Okay, any actions you may want to take to mitigate potential impacts, or just accept, and having some contingency money and time in place if to mitigate if those impacts occur. All right, so this is the overall contingency, and this is the breakdown of that contingency. You can do the same comparison analysis using the risk driver comparison chart. And now you will see the impact of uncertainty and the impact of those different risk events as you run different scenarios. Okay, so scenario modeling by adding more parameters, weather, other types of threats, or other types of opportunities or uncertainty, and comparing those different scenarios is very easy within the Acumen platform. Just those are these are the key points that I want to cover today. I don't want to keep it, very lengthy and elaborate too much. This is a quick overview, but we are more than happy to show more details and talk more about the different features within Acumen Risk, maybe in another session or in a dedicated session with the audience.
Evan, thanks so much for joining. I just want to echo the point that you made, which is that climate change is here, and we all need to take a lot more steps in our risk management processes to factor that in so that we can, as you say, mitigate it, or at the very least be prepared for it. So I really think the EHAB Acumen integration is the best approach for any organization that wants to bring on like a next level risk management process. So thank you so much for your time. What we will just do in the description of this video, there'll be a link to the Deltek marketplace, which EHAB is a member of. And so if you want to find out more information about the integration and this webinar and videos and other resources, then it'll all be there. Thanks for your time, Evan.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Josh. Have a good day.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.